welcome back to my channel. My name is Areli. I am a medical doctor, pathologist, neuropathologist, and I have a plant-based nutrition certification. I follow a plant-based diet since over 10 years ago, and I've been raw vegan since 2018, which makes me a 5-year raw vegan. For the purists, I'm not 100% raw vegan. I would say 98% raw vegan. I've been following this lifestyle for 5 years, and on my free time, I do social media content for people to inform them about my approach and what I consider the healthiest way to eating a raw vegan diet. There's a lot of controversy when it comes to what we are designed to eat in terms of what is our human specific diet. If you are a newbie in this movement of plant-based diets, when I say vegan diets, is basically to encompass all the modalities, but so you know, veganism is not a diet. Veganism is an ethical stand that the ones that we call ourselves vegans consider that there is no need and to harm animals, whether it's for food or for clothing. So we avoid that. We avoid the killing of an animal or a sentient being for the purposes of my own benefit, right? There is no perfect vegan, and we do what we can. So just for the record, when I say vegan diets, I'm just referring to plant-based diets. I use them interchangeably. And when I say type of raw vegan diets, I'm focusing on diets that exclude cooked food, no matter if it's vegan. For example, oatmeal, cooked oatmeal is not raw vegan. So we raw vegans don't eat cooked oatmeal, right? There are different reasons for that. But in a nutshell, I just want to do like a brainstorming here because I don't have a script. I haven't planned this video, but I think it's important to discuss, especially if you're a newbie or if you're lost, because some people talk about fruits only. Some people talk about sprouts and veggies only and little fruit. Some people talk about sweet potatoes, but they call themselves raw vegan, but they eat sweet potatoes and they bake them. So are they raw vegans? So I'm just probably brainstorming here, trying to explain my approach and how I see things and what I consider the main types of raw vegan diets, not vegan diets, raw vegan diets in particular, and my approach. Like, what am I doing right now? I feel like it's important to disclose everything I'm doing. A spoiler alert, I'm still vegan. I'm actually more vegan than raw vegan. My approach or the reason why I follow a plant-based diet is because I went vegan. And then I discovered raw veganism, which makes more sense to me to be raw vegan. I think is the healthiest version, but not all raw vegan diets are the same. So I don't have a script. I don't have the numbers. Probably I'm gonna miss different approaches, different modalities of raw veganism, but in a nutshell, I feel like we can divide them or categorize them in different approaches. Based on my experience and what I observe, I feel like they're like the fruitarianism, right? The fruitarians that say that fruit is human-specific diet, that we are frugivores, fruitarian, and therefore we are from the tropics, right? The human species originated in the tropics, and therefore living in a paradise-like environment, having access to tropical fruit is ideal for humans, and that's therefore the way we should eat. There are hardcore fruitarians and flexible fruitarians, right? It's not the same fruitarianism than frugivorism. Frugivorism is focusing on the fruit, but they do not neglect other things like leafy greens, nuts, and seeds. And there is like hardcore fruitarianism where they say only fruit, and that's it. So those are the two subtypes of fruit-based approaches. There is other people who focus on probably like a nutritarian approach. Nutritarian is a term, I think, that was coined by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Dr. Joel Fuhrman is a plant-based doctor. He's been promoting nutrient-dense foods for a long time. I don't think he claims to be vegan. Maybe he includes, don't quote me on this, but I don't feel like his main focus in life is activism. He's more like into nutrition. And he is like limiting fruits and more cruciferous veggies and nutrient-dense food. So he's more into vegetables and roots and things that are colorful and high in nutrition, and leaving a little bit the fruit on the side. Not that he doesn't like fruit, but fruit is not his main focus. Then in the raw vegan movement, we have the very popular approach, which was popularized by Dr. Del Graham with the 80-10-10 approach, which is high carb, low fat, low protein, meaning that 80% of your calories have to come from carbs, meaning fruits and vegetables. 10% of your calories have to come from protein, and you get protein everywhere, but different fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds have different amounts of protein. And low fat, 10% fat, meaning that nuts and seeds and avocados and coconut have to be kept at minimum so you don't get problems with your fat intake, basically. So that's one approach. Then you have people who are sproutarians or sproutitarians. I don't know if that's the right term, but basically they focus on sprouts, legumes, pulses, seeds. Everything is sprouted and basically is more heavy on protein and fat. And yeah, they eat abundance of leafy greens and they eat fruit as well, but their main source of calories and nutrition is coming from sprouts. There are other people who do more sophisticated things like cultured food, with fermentation processes and cultured coconut yogurt and germinations and all of these approaches, kind of activating the seeds and all of this. And yeah, I feel like in a nutshell, that's basically pretty much all the types of raw vegan diets. So for me, I feel like I came to this lifestyle because I listened to all these different people talking about these different ratios, like how many carbs, how much protein, how much fat. And I came to this approach of the 80-10-10, and I feel like it's a great approach.
And I would like to clarify that it's a great approach if you want to be active and do sports like yoga, acrobatics, endurance training like running or swimming. However, if you want to be bodybuilder, I feel like we need to tweak the macros a little bit. So I want to clarify that. You can build muscle with 80-10-10 for sure. But to develop the bulkiness, maybe, just maybe, and I'm reading more about it and understanding more about it. In this video, I explore a little bit about it, but in upcoming videos, you are gonna see where I'm coming from. If you follow me on Instagram, you will probably realize that I have more material on the subject, but let's go back to the video.
If you want to be more active, it's been my experience, not just my experience, it's been my understanding based on what I've been reading and listening to, because I don't listen to just one author. I listen to multiple people because that's how I'm trained. To arrive to a conclusion, I have to listen, read, understand different approaches, and make my own mind, make my own conclusion. Some people ask me like, show a video what you eat in a day. Well, social media is not my job. Social media is just my hobby, and I don't have time to record myself like prepping like my meals or things like that. And another reason why I don't do this is because I don't feel at the position of recommending what I eat because I'm an individual, meaning that my diet, I'm not going to recommend my diet to everyone because I have different needs, different caloric needs, different nutrition needs because of my particular individuality. So if you are a 70 kilogram in weight man who is in their 30s and who wants to lift weights and build muscle, I'm not going to recommend you my diet because that's not going to be enough for you. I'm not going to recommend the same diet to a guy with those features because it's not going to be enough. Like, I'm a petite woman. I am 5 feet 2 inches, 3 inches more or less, 1 meter, 60 centimeters. My weight oscillates between 50 and 55 kilograms. My healthy body mass index is between 49 kilograms and 55 kilograms. So I oscillate between those ranges. My calorie needs are between 18,000 to 2,500 calories, depending on my activity level. So a guy that is 180 meters or 6 feet, right, and that wants to lift weights and all that, maybe he needs 3,000 calories. So just look around. Nimai Delgado, for example, he's vegan. He's not raw vegan, but he eats more than me, and he eats cooked, and he eats high protein. As I said, I started with like a low protein, low fat approach, but it's been my understanding that probably we need a little bit more. Still high carb, okay? Still fruit based. But I feel, and again, I don't want to sell you anything. I don't have any coaching program. I don't have a book. I don't have anything, but based on the experience and knowledge that I've accumulated, I feel like I can say with certainty, for me at least, if you don't want to follow my advice, don't do it, but I have to disclose everything, right? So that's the most sensible thing to do. I feel like for my needs right now, I'm more inclined to follow a 60-20-20 approach, or 65-20-15 approach, meaning high carb still, low fat still, but instead of low protein, I feel like a moderate protein approach would be better for me because my goals have changed. And I want to tell you that there's people who want to follow a raw vegan diet for a particular purpose, which is probably healing an autoimmune condition, healing inflammatory bowel disease, reversing their diabetes type 2, things of that nature. And some people will not tolerate a high protein approach or a high fat approach. Maybe they need to limit their fat intake to 10%. So in my case, I don't feel like 15% of fat does anything to me. Quite the contrary, I feel like my skin is softer. I feel like my hair is healthier. And a moderate protein approach keeps me more satiated and keeps me more, gives me more performance, because you also have to consider the, how can I say, the what is the reason that you eat certain macros, right? I feel like endurance athletes, like the ones who are running or cycling, they will benefit with a high carb, low fat, low protein approach. Not so low. I would say no less than 10% of protein. But I feel like they will definitely get an advantage if they do that approach. But if you are a more resistance athlete, meaning lifting weights and trying to bulk up, probably you need more protein. I'm gonna do more videos on protein because the obsession with protein, why not, right? We need to talk about it. Because if we want to defend our lifestyle, at least we know what other people are talking about, and at least we need to know why or where they're coming from, so we can either refute or embrace what they're coming, the new knowledge and the new concepts that they're discovering, right? So there's so many things that I've been exploring, and I consider that this is what I'm doing right now. My approach, for me, again, this is what I'm doing, is high carb, low fat, moderate protein. And it's been working fine for me. When I switch, obviously I feel a little bit different, but it took me probably 1 week to 2 weeks to adjust, and now I'm at my normal, basically. And yeah, more videos coming on the subject. I'm not, debunking anyone. I'm not against anyone. I'm not selling a product or anything. I'm just telling you this is what I've been concluding based on research that I've done. And when I say research, I mean researching information, right? I don't have mouse models. First of all, I'm vegan, so I'm not going to experiment on animals. But second of all, I don't do like clinical research. Like, I don't put people on case control studies or things like that. No, when I say based on my research, I mean based on what I've been reading, based on the authors and nutritionists and doctors with doctorate and people who are actually doing basic science. I could conclude this. But hey, I'm not against anyone. If you want to do your fruitarian thing, do it. If it's working out for you, just do it responsibly. I just made a video about knowing what you're doing, your caloric requirements, nutritional requirements, and if you are doing great, great. But in my case, I feel like there are different requirements for proteins, and if we want to be taken seriously by the people in science, I feel like we need to justify why we are doing certain things and actually show that we are not deficient and show that we can perform similarly or equally or superiorly to the people who are eating animal-based protein. And I just feel like there is an aversion. There is like a avoidance when it comes to talking about protein in the raw vegan community, because we have this fixation that if we say protein, we immediately think about a steak, a piece of meat, right? When in reality, protein can be found in legumes, sprouted legumes, sprouted lentils.
I would like to insert another voice recording here just to clarify that proteins are everywhere, and proteins are built of amino acids, and amino acids are in every single fruit. Amino acids are in leafy greens, amino acids are in vegetables, nuts, seeds. So we need to eat those basic units that conform protein so our body can build protein. So I just want to clarify that amino acids that make protein can be obtained from plants, from every single fruit, vegetables, and seeds, and everything that comes from the plant-based kingdom. So just to clarify, I didn't mention this in the video, but I feel the need to insert this voice recording so you know that I'm not disregarding the importance of the amino acid content in fruits and vegetables. When it comes to grams of protein per portion of legumes versus a piece of fruit, obviously the legumes are going to have more. And this is the reason why I am increasing this type of foods.
At the end of the day, what is the purpose of raw veganism? Why do I choose to eat sprouted lentils over cooked lentils? It's because of the living force, the nature, not the nature properties of food that has not been passed through heat. Heat basically denatures things. Now, people who criticize raw veganism say, no, actually denaturing by heat breaks down the cell walls, and therefore we have more access to nutrition. And that's true as well. That's why I'm not a purist. That's why I don't condemn anyone who has, steamed veggies and sweet potatoes and baked stuff. I don't condemn them, and I always disclose that I'm not 100% raw vegan. It will be super difficult. I mean, just think about it. I have a full-time job. I do exercise. I do other things, and just worrying about being 100% raw vegan, which, by the way, if you see my old content, was my focus at the beginning. There is no reason for that. Okay, it's my approach. It's my opinion. I'm not debunking anyone. I'm just saying what I'm doing. I want to be transparent from the beginning, because just because my name is Raw Vegan Doctor, right? I believe in the power of raw foods. I believe that some people will benefit tremendously if they stick to raw veganism. I believe that some people cannot do good without being raw. That's why I promote it, and I'm just gonna keep my nickname, raw vegan doctor. But people who are purists probably will condemn me and say, "No, you're not raw vegan." You know, I reserve my rights to keep the name because I believe in the power of raw foods, and it's just catchy and it's simple and it matches my purpose, right? I'm a doctor and I'm raw vegan and I promote raw foods. Whether it's 50%, whether it's 75%, whether it's 85% or 90%, if you can 90%, that would be amazing. At the moment, because I'm changing my protein requirements, I'm actually doing two videos in one, but I feel like it's important because it goes hand in hand to what I'm talking. But I feel like at the moment, I am more, I would say 95% raw vegan. The other 5% that I'm not is because sometimes to fulfill the protein requirements, because I'm in this training program, okay? So this is temporary. I need to make use of, I don't know, roasted edamame or frozen edamame that has been pre-cooked, but that's not like that's next to like a big raw vegan salad, for example. So it's just to fulfill the protein requirements. So if I'm doing that, am I rejecting the fact that we are designed to eat fruit diet? No, I'm just saying my particular situation and my program is requiring this from me, and I don't see any detriments in my health. I've been doing this for a month, so I'm just documenting what I'm doing, sharing with you, exposing my wife, but you don't have to do it. And I'm not claiming that I have the ultimate answers. I'm just saying. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And I will read the comments now if you have any questions. Again, what is the purpose of raw veganism, right? The purpose of raw veganism is to give you vitality. And yeah, fruits give you vitality, but other things like that's why I describe in this video, there's people who live on sprouts. So I'm inclined to eat more sprouts, but that doesn't mean that I eat only sprouts, you know.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Put in the comment sections your questions. I will get to them at my earliest convenience. And I have more videos lined up discussing this moderate protein approach. I know it's not for everyone. I know that it's kind of like a shock for you if you're listening this from me, who I was living a low protein approach for 5 years in my raw veganism, and now changing for the purposes of rebuilding and doing body recomposition. It may seem strange to you, but I have my reasons. I have investigated a lot of things, and in the next videos I'm going to explain little by little, so hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye now.